It was a glorious morning yesterday. And there we were on a float. My husband Brad and our two predecessor Grand Marshals, Steve Snyder-Hill and his husband Josh Snyder-Hill. And the float came down Broad Street and we turned onto High Street. And it was an oh my reaction to that. It was amazing. As far as I could see down that boulevard, packed with beautiful, beautiful people. Wall to wall, the sidewalk was completely filled with people. And I saw men holding another man's hand. I saw women holding another woman's hand. I even saw a man holding a woman's hand. That's an homage. As we say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. I saw two men cradling a baby. I saw two women with a toddler, and I saw families with a mom and a dad and children there. Infinite diversity in infinite combinations. I saw older people, I saw young people, I saw all the rainbow colors of races. It was a glorious, beautiful morning. And there we were, with my husband and two other husbands, former Grand Marshals, floating down that great high boulevard. And then we came to a street crossing, and it said Gay Street. How eminently fitting and appropriate. And we crossed Gay, and we saw more and more and more people. It was an amazing gathering of people. This is what America should be. A rainbow of people in infinite combinations, celebrating joy, celebrating love, celebrating their families, and celebrating an absolute togetherness of joy and happiness and love. It was a beautiful sight. And I thought, we are living in a fantastic society. Because exactly a week from this week, the Supreme Court of the United States came down with a decision that struck down the Defense of Marriage Act. And it struck down California's hated Proposition 8 and restored marriage equality to California. Woo! Woo! Now California, Hawaii, Connecticut, Illinois, Iowa, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and 12 other states have marriage equality. It is an amazing phenomenon that's happening, and now a number of states, including Ohio, is awaiting the appellate court decision which will bring, within the next 2 years, I predict, marriage equality to all those states as well. There is definitely the winds of political and social change happening in the United States. It is a thrilling experience here. And this is happening because of change agents. Change agents like your Ohioan, Steve Snyder-Hill. We've all heard about, read about, and seen his amazing questioning of the candidates for the presidency from the Republican Party in 2000. It was a courageous stand. But he is a soldier, and he stands for all the values that make the military what it is. honor, courage, and valor. Steve asked them, the Republican candidates for the presidency and also candidates for the commander-in-chief of the military, would you reinstate don't ask, don't tell when you become the president? And the shocking thing was, and I was watching this on TV, the people gathered there booed an American soldier serving in Iraq on the battlefield dodging mortars. It was a shocking sight and shocking sound to hear. Republicans who professed to support the military were booing an American soldier. And then there was another revelation. Absolute silence from the Republican candidates on stage. Talk about courage. Talk about hypocrisy. Talk about decency. Not a single Republican spoke up. A very telling silence. And then finally, that famous homophobic candidate, Rick Santorum, spoke out. It was ridiculous, his commentary. His ignorance was patently exhibited publicly. But Steve Snyder-Hill's question sent out ripples of reactions throughout. And it even happened on a major television series. Those of you that saw Newsgroup powerfully commented on that event. It was something that all Americans were touched and moved and galvanized by. And it's people like Steve who make change happen. And he's making it happen even more. He's got a new book called Soldier of Change coming out. I think all Americans should read that. It is a powerful documentary of his living under don't ask, don't tell. That invisible barbed wire fence. It was, I read it, and it was a moving document, and a powerful document, and an inspiring document. And I was prompted to write the foreword to his book. It was an honor and a privilege. And I consider, and Brad does as well, one of the great honors that the city of Columbus, Ohio has granted upon us to follow in his footsteps as the Grand Marshal of that amazing parade, Pride Parade, yesterday morning. And we learned so much about what's happening here in Columbus. We learned about the campaign to raise funds for Stonewall, a very eminently appropriate name. The Stonewall Inn, which was the initiator of the gay liberation movement, and taking that name and creating a center for information, for aid, for support, and for all the things that we heard from Carla from this podium. But I thought it was most humanly personified by Tom Brody and his still lively young daughter. We saw what Stonewall is doing. It is making for a more friendly, human society. And that is an important thing to support. It is a pillar of this community, and that's why Columbus is such a great city in the heart of Ohio. Woo! are so honored, Brad and I, to be here to participate in this event. We've learned so much. You have added dimension to our lives, and we are proud to now consider ourselves a part of Columbus, Ohio.